Good morning, good afternoon, happy Wednesday. Today was a choppy, slow day. It was a green day again, so I'm blessed to say that. We're going to be diving into how to stay picky on days where there's just not a whole lot to be trading. Days where a lot of people are red, but I'm still green and the team still crushed it because we know how to sit back. We know when to sit away from some of these choppy names. UGRO is rocketing here, and golly, is it frustrating because I wanted to play this today, but I wrapped up a little bit too early. So let's go ahead and dive into it all. We've got a lot to talk about. What I want to start doing as well, we're going to start doing comment replies. I want to start going over one comment every day on these videos. And the comment of the day today, we're going to go over towards the end of the video. And so the comment of the day is going to be, what time frame do you use? And I'm going to go over the answer to this at the end of the video. Let's go over all of the trades first. We'll come back to this. Now I want to start this by saying that this is just trading. This is the reality of trading that a lot of people aren't going to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about a slow day. Today was a green day. We're going to talk about how I was able to achieve that despite the choppiness. And the big piece of it is knowing when to sit back and knowing when a setup is not an A+ setup, right? So RMSG this morning, this looked pretty dang good. Now, I broke the ice this morning with some trades back here in pre-market, surprisingly. I know I don't dabble a whole lot in pre-market, but whenever I see a good opportunity, I've got to execute. Took the pullbacks there, and again, it sort of goes back to the idea from yesterday, the pullback strategy we talked about. So we actually have this, again, we have this big move initially where it breaks out, consolidates, starts to leg up higher, all pretty low volume all through here back in pre. I didn't really love how this was trading, but it was a decent setup. So it gets breaking out over the highs. We see this base rally. So we have this base form through here. This base, this consolidation becomes an area of demand. And so with that being said, we have this, again, sort of drawn out through here. And so, of course, as price pulls back again into this past area of demand, I see it get bought back up above the 90 MA where I took my first entry for the curl back up into the highs into ascending resistance. Pulls back again, of course, after already identifying this as an area of demand. I take it again for the curls back up into the highs. And again, I did get that move again. Now, albeit it was with smaller size, of course, pre-market, I trade with more size out of the open. I had it here from 65 cents to about 67, then again back from 65 back to about 69. This being the play on number 2 that had me a bit of cushion for the bell. I come out of market open. I don't take it here. Of course, we're sort of tight in terms of range. You can see here, didn't really have a lot of room to the upside out of this tightening wedge. So I waited for the break above. I tried to take it off the 1-minute pullbacks. You can see I have 2 little scalps through here. You know, pretty obvious setup. Not a whole lot else moving. As this is happening, though, we have a lot of no buenos going on. If you look over, we at feed, for example, we have feed, and this thing gets absolutely clobbered out of the open. You can see here, and by the way, this blocked on Webull, and what I found out is Apex clearing is requiring a lot of these brokers that again use Apex to block these tickers, right, to set them to liquidation only. So it's really interesting thing going on right now. Is it just Webull? Well, I actually spoke with the CEO of a few other brokers, and sure enough, it is Apex that is causing this. So interesting. I hate it. I really do. It really hurts the way these stocks trade. So nonetheless, feed was terrible, again, in the way that it moved. I just could not play this. It broke out over the pre-market highs, and again, we put in place these big tails. Again, that is an instant red flag. No, thank you. We also had UGRO, which was also very nasty, which ends up making a move later in the morning. But I had on the pre-market watch list, I'll show you here. On the pre-market watch list, I knew I was watching RMSG and UGRO today. And so UGRO I was watching for the range 835 and 9. Now, out of the bell, this flushes, consolidates, again, big tails off the high, big topping tail. Nasty knife down. This thing knifes, look at this, from 850 all the way to 760, about $1 a share. Disgusting. That happens at pretty much the same exact time that this feed knife happens as well. And so my concern from then on something like an RMSG is all of a sudden my fear is that, well, this is going to destroy small cap sentiment today because everybody's going to be worried about catching a knife somewhere. Wherever they go, they're worried about catching a knife. That was my concern all morning. And so with that, I'm worried. I'm worried myself. I'm hesitating myself. Anyways, I have my little penny flips here. I was hesitating the whole time. And look at price action. Oh my God. Topping tail. Breaks to the downside. Reverses back through its highs. I don't even know what's going on. More topping tails. Choppy. I take one little pullback off the 90 MA for the move back up into the highs. Again, scalp some pennies out of that. And then, of course, I see it gap and reverse and dump again. That's it. I'm done. So it's just the fact of what is predictable. Look at the whole context of the morning. You've got feed knifing, UGRO knifing, a lot of just turd setups. You have stuff like, gosh, what was it over there on? So a lot of just no bueno setups. And again, with that, it is what it is. You just have to sit back and be patient. I saw a lot of people out there forcing stuff that just wasn't a good setup. We've got to understand, take a step back, zoom out. Yesterday had a massive day with PAVS and A&A. Today, there just wasn't that high conviction opportunity. And if you can't look out there in the market and feel comfortable and confident to go out there and expose yourself, you shouldn't be exposing yourself. And if you should, like I said this morning, based on price action alone, even if the perfect setup had showed itself, I wasn't taking more than a half size because everything looked terrible. Price action was just scary, frankly. So when you notice that, you've got to take a step back. Don't fight it. You can't force conviction. That's the last thing you want to do is force conviction. You can't force yourself to have confidence in something. You're not going to trade it well at all. So that's just the fact of it too. So that's that. Slow morning, small green day, ready for tomorrow. Green streak stays alive, knock on wood. But on to the comment reply I wanted to do. What time frame do I use? Well, we do something here called top-down confluence. It's all a whole lot of top-down confluence. And what does that mean? What is top-down confluence? Well, to find the most obvious stock, you've got to use multiple time frames to see what each trader sees. And I'm not going to go into a full video on this yet in this video. I will in the future, so make sure to subscribe for that. So now we're talking about top-down confluence, and I know I've got a lot going on with my charts here, so bear with me for a second. But essentially, whenever I'm trading, that's why I'm showing you this. I've got my 1 minute, my 3 minute, my typically a 15-minute down here. I had with the hourly pulled up for analyzing something earlier. 15-minute for broad trend, and then of course I've got my daily on the left to start with my daily trend. And so whenever I'm looking at a setup to trade, I've got to have confluence on really my daily, my 3 minute or 5 minute, whichever you have more success with. I prefer the 3 myself. And the 1 minute, I've got to have confluence in all 3 time frames. Start with the daily. If I pull this up on the daily chart, is there a good setup? If there is, cool. Do I have alignment on the 3? Do I have alignment on the 1? If I do, cool. Dandy, it's an obvious setup. It's an A+ setup. I don't have top-down confluence. If the daily is bad, I will not take the trade. I simply will not take the trade. That's like Tron this morning is a great example of this. Or was it Tron or Top? It was Top this morning. I told everybody on the stream, I said, don't play this. Look at the daily chart. You have no range on this. You're right here beneath the 20 and 50 moving average. Don't play this. I know it looked hot. Don't play this. Gross. Look at this. Rejected right off the 50. So it's just a matter of having that alignment on multiple time frames. For me, it's the daily, the 3, the 1. From there, it's play ball. And of course, wider trend on the 15. But that's it. It's not really just a specific time frame that I use. I know the person replied and said he's on a 1 minute chart. That's just to analyze my entries and exits. The overall setups that I trade typically come from the 3. The entries, of course, I snag my entries on the 1, and I manage on the 1 at times, depending on what that trade is, of course, with discretion. If it's a scalpier setup, of course, I'll use a smaller time frame. If it's a larger picture setup, of course, I'll manage using the 3 or the 5, depending on, like I said, whichever you prefer. But nonetheless, so multiple time frame confluence, obvious A+ setups look good on multiple time frames, not just one or the other. You can't go trade something that looks good on the 1 but terrible on the daily, vice versa, something that looks amazing on the daily but terrible on the 1. Right? So multi-time frame confluence. That all said, good day today. It's, again, like I said, it's a green day. Y'all seem to have had a pretty good day today. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with that. Again, seeing y'all stay picky today. I know on stream I keep on saying, sit back, stay patient. It can be a little bit annoying, but I do it because I care about you. I don't want you to go out there and force trades. So I'm hoping for a much better, more active day tomorrow to wrap the week up Thursday and Friday. We're going to cross our fingers, cross our toes. Let me know how you did today. Let me know what you traded today. Hopefully you sat back, you stayed picky. We should have some good stuff into the rest of the week. A few things are setting up out there on some movers for Monday and Tuesdays. Maybe some inside bar breakouts, some continuation style setup. So make sure to tune in for the watch list tonight over on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and my shorts. Watch that video tonight on any platform. And again, let's hope for an awesome Thursday and Friday. That being said, subscribe for daily content just like this. Again, comment some questions down below. I'm going to be going over questions in every video going forward. I think it's a cool little thing to start. And make sure as well to sign up for the 7-day free trial down below in the description, where you can trade alongside me in real time every single day and get everything else we have to offer. Everything you need in one place. I will see you there. Have an awesome rest of your day. Peace out, guys.